Good evening, children. This is my fifth video explanation on our lesson strategies for enhancement in food production. In my previous discussion, I had taken the topic animal husbandry, apiculture, economic importance, pisciculture, different types of fish farming, uses of fish, and we talked about livestock. Today's new topic to begin is animal breeding. The definition says controlled mating followed by selection to obtain superior genotype of domesticated animals is called animal breeding. The reason why this has been adopted is for increased yield and better quality of animal products. For example, milk, eggs, meat, wool, etc. Also, by various types of animal breeding practices, there has been an increase in resistance to a variety of diseases, longer productive life and higher reproductive rate, and also higher growth rate. So let us see what are the types of animal breeding. They are of two types. First, inbreeding, and second is outbreeding. Inbreeding, as the name tells, this is the mating of closely related individuals of the same species but from different populations. So, the general steps here, let us take one by one here. The general steps, if I tell you about inbreeding, is to understand with a simple explanation with this. Suppose there is a superior male which is being crossed with a superior female of the same breed. Now this is being done in pairs. Now the progeny or the children that are born to these animals, right, they will be assessed and evaluated for the desirable traits that the scientists they are looking for. Again, from the progeny, the superior males and females are identified. For example, a superior bull which gives rise to superior progeny is compared to the other bulls, right? Or a superior cow or buffalo. Again, the process is continued for 4 to 6 generations. So this is very simple. Inbreeding, children, a superior male crossed with a superior female which gives rise to their progeny or children. Now from their progenies only, superior male and female are identified, right, by the desirable traits, and again they are kind of crossed to around 4 to 6 generations, which leads to a pure line of the animal species, right. It also eliminates the harmful recessive genes and also helps in accumulation of superior genes. At the same time, children, there are a lot of disadvantages. The most important is what we call, this is an important term, inbreeding depression. Inbreeding depression is like breeding within its own species and losing the vigor of the progeny. For example, by definition, decreased vigor and productivity and reduction in weight gain in offspring. This leads to inbreeding depression. That is, here when I said the male and female are being crossed, progeny is obtained, again they are selected for male and female, and again continued like this 4 to 5 generations till the pure line animals are obtained. But in this, what will happen is that the animals that will be obtained after 4 to 6 generations, their meat will be very tough and they will have a higher pH value. Also, the productivity and there will be a reduction in their weight gain. That is, the progenies will be weaker generation after generation. Finally, this is reached to a limit where the generation is very, very weak, and therefore we call this as inbreeding depression. So what is the only solution to this? That such children that are born weak and their lifespan is also very less, loss of milk production, suppose it's a cow, right? In that case, so the dairy or milk production will be very less. So what is the problem and how it is to be solved? If the disadvantages are seen, then the only option is to switch over to outbreeding. Alright, so let us see what is outbreeding. Outbreeding is mating between unrelated animals belonging to same breed or different breeds of the same species, or between individuals of different species. We'll have to understand this. See, it is generally by three types. First, understand this. This is generally by three types. We say outcrossing, crossbreeding, and the third is called as interspecific hybridization. Now, this one is simple. Outcrossing, in this, it's a practice of mating animals within the same breed but having no common ancestors on either side up to 4 to 6 generations. Right? This will be called as outcross. Now, outcrossing is the best breeding method for animals that are below average in milk production. That is, here I said the animals that will be born after 4 to 6 generations will have less weight of the body, decreased milk production, etc. But here, this problem can be solved by switching over to outcrossing. Alright, so in this, a single outcross helps to overcome inbreeding depression. Crossbreeding. In this, superior male of one breed, it's mated with the superior female of another breed. This is done for as long as some 6 to 7 generations. There's a species of cow called as Curran Swiss, and this is how it is given, and it is more superior as far as the desired traits are there, right? And we can also obtain animals which are more disease resistant, hardy, and more acclimatized to local conditions. Alright, coming to interspecific hybridization. Now here you'll have to understand this. Suppose there's a cross made between a donkey and a horse. Suppose male of a donkey is being crossed with the female of a horse. The product would be a mule. Now mules, they are supposed to be, let's say, sturdier, or we can say more stronger and harder over the parents. So, this is a sterile hybrid. Mule is sterile. That means it will not be able to give birth to the children. But yes, it will be more important for the business purposes of, let's say, carrying the goods, etc. Right? So, what is interspecific hybrid? Male and female of two different related species are mated. This technique is performed in animal breeding only when the sterile hybrid is far superior to either of parents. Like here you saw, a mule is more superior than a donkey or a horse, right? By being more sturdy and hard, right? It's more hardier in the work of transportation and carriage, etc. And it is more useful for carrying heavy articles in especially mountain regions or terrains. Okay, then coming to, let's say, controlled breeding. The next topic is controlled breeding, or we also call it as artificial breeding experiments. This is the last topic of this chapter, children, right? Simple it is, we have to understand. Controlled breeding, or what we also call as artificial breeding experiment. Whenever we say anything is artificial, naturally it's man-made. So this is done by experiments in which it is done, number one, by artificial insemination, and the other is MOET, which we call as multiple ovulation embryo transfer technology. Let us understand this. It's very simple. Artificial insemination. Look at this cross. Now here, the semen of the chosen male, that is the reproductive cells or the gametes or the semen of the chosen male is selected, right? It's collected and injected into the reproductive tract of the selected female. And this is done by the plant experts. We can say the animal breeders. All right. Now, artificial insemination helps to overcome a number of problems that can take place due to normal mating. For example, let's see the advantages. Number one, good quality progeny can be ensured. That is, the children born to such crosses will be definitely better over the parents. Second is, the semen can be transported to distant places, right? That is, as we know that the males of high yielding breeds, they need to be kept in an environment more suitable and cannot be made available to everywhere. So this semen can be transported, right, and that can be used in distant places. The third is semen can be frozen and it can be used later. Fourth, this method is economical because one male, the semen can be used to fertilize a large number of females, and thus there will be a greater number of improvement in the breeds. And finally, the contagious diseases or the infectious diseases, they do not spread by this method. Alright, so I hope you have understood. Today we have started with our topic, animal breeding. We did with the definition, the two types, inbreeding and outbreeding. Inbreeding we understood by the simple explanation, and we talked about the disadvantages, in which inbreeding depression is the very important topic for your examination. Then what is outbreeding? The three types, that is outcrossing, crossbreeding and interspecific hybridization. And then we moved to controlled artificial breeding experiments, where we talked about artificial insemination. And the last topic for today is MOET, which call as multiple ovulation embryo transfer. Now this you'll have to understand first. Let us see this by a very simple diagram. Yes, it's a cow that I have tried to make, though I am not into an art drawing and all, but here's a very simple diagram for your understanding. Now this technology, what we call as MOET, multiple ovulation embryo transfer, this technique is used specially for herd improvement. The success rate of crossing a mature male and female is fairly low by insemination method. That is, here, though artificial insemination is a good option, but the success rate is comparatively very less. So to improve the chances of more successful production of hybrids, this method is adopted. Let us see and understand how simple is this. The method utilizes, first step is, a cow is selected with desirable characters, right? Desirable characters could be more amount of milk production, disease resistance, whatever. Alright, so let's see the cow is selected. Step 1 is, the same selected cow is injected. See, this is a step 1. The hormone called FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, is administered to the selected cow. Right? This is the first round of the experiment. In this, what happens? The FSH hormone, it induces follicular maturation and superovulation, which is induced. See, normally the egg production by the cow is less, but because of this FSH, the follicle maturation would be induced and superovulation, that means eggs will be produced in greater numbers. For example, 6 to 8 eggs. They start undergoing maturation process. Now, as the eggs are ready, the female is inseminated. Let's see what is a step. Step 1 was injection was given, FSH, more follicles were matured and greater number of eggs were getting ready or mature. Step 2 is these eggs, right? The female is, we can say, it's inseminated. As the eggs are ready, the female is inseminated with the selected male, either naturally or by the semen. The insemination, that is semen of the male that is selected, is directly administered, that is directly or by the semen. Now, in this case, what happens? The fertilized eggs, they are allowed to grow to some 8 to 32 cell stage, right? And then they are recovered non-surgically and transferred to surrogate mothers. Surrogate mothers means those mothers who are not the ones that are producing the eggs, but these fertilized eggs, they are kind of transferred to the surrogate mothers, right? And now finally what will happen? The genetic mother, that is the previous one, will be again introduced by another round of FSH, right? So the genetic mother is again, because why it is being selected again and again? Because of the better and desired characteristics. So once again, children, the technique is very simple. FSH administered, more eggs mature, super ovulation is there. Step 2 is insemination, that is directly or by its semen. eggs allowed to reach the 8 to 32 cell stage. They are recovered non-surgically and they are transferred to surrogate mothers. So in this case, children, you can see this is a better, more successful rate of adaptation or improvement of the animal breed, because from one cow, a number of surrogate cows, they had now been inserted with the egg, right? And FSH is used here again to the genetic mother for another round of superovulation. This technology is being used to improve cows, buffaloes, sheep, horses, mares, etc. The high quality breeds of females, right, they are being obtained, and high quality of meat yielding males, example bulls, etc., they have been obtained to increase the herd size in a short time. So we can see, children, how important this method is, MOET, important for your examination point of view, right? You can be asked a short note. No need to draw this diagram like this, children. This I have just explained. Try to come down to your levels and make it very simple and clear. But while you're explaining, children, don't draw this diagram, but arrow wise or flowchart wise you can certainly explain. Maximum you can be asked a short question, the procedure and advantages. Alright, so that's the end of this chapter, children. Here we finish our lesson, strategies for enhancement in food production. The only topics we have taken was animal breeding, types of animal breeding, inbreeding and outbreeding. We talked about inbreeding depression, which is important, controlled breeding experiments, artificial insemination, but this MOET is very important and this improves the chances of successful production of hybrids. So we saw how the technique is brought about, and very interesting and very successful, and what are the advantages. With that, we finish our 5th chapter today, and next time we are going to start with our 6th topic, and the topic will be organisms and populations. Children, please see that you keep revising the topic. Write these 2 pages in your notes. Any queries, children, you can certainly ask, and the same I am forwarding on your WhatsApp group also along with Google Classroom. Thank you.